going on, Philly Young Cavs? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Zack. And my chair is too high. There
we
go.
His chair is too high. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cave, the first episode of the Pop Culture Cave. Zack, what do we do here in the Pop Culture Cave?
Here at the Pop Culture Cave, we talk about all things pop culture. I'm super excited to be launching it. I know we tried I don't know what it is with the first episodes of things, or when we do it together.
Always happens.
It always happens. We'll stream here like 11 times a week and no problems. And then it's like, oh, hey, let's do a stream together. And then the internet's like, no. But yeah, we are here. And at the Pop Culture Cave, we talk about all things pop culture.
Yes.
And that means movies, games, TV. And we got some news today. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to... It's going to be a little more chill of an episode than normal since it is the first one.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the news, obviously. But also, too, we're going to be just kind of talking about some little channel updates here and there. Future projects. Really excited. But anything that we talk about is going to line up with the theme of pop culture. We're not just going to be like,
of course.
So we're starting this new series about socks.
Socks and monkeys and bamboozled.
Yes, this means together. This means separate.
Oh, yes.
But yeah.
I'm in the chat, so you guys can interact with us, and I'll monitor the chat. So go ahead and pop in there, say hi. Let us know what you think about the topics we bring up, and yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, Tyler, you want to talk with them for just a split second? Well, now that we're actually live, I can see a little something with the framing I'm going to change. So I don't want to completely disappear.
For sure. Well, yeah, welcome. This is like we said, this is the first show that we of the Pop Culture Cave. This is originally it's going to be on Fridays. We had some technical issues yesterday that for some reason the stream just decided not to work. So we wanted to bring it to you guys today. But normally it is on Fridays at around 1 o'clock, 1 to maybe noon-ish. We haven't really decided on the time yet. But yeah.
Yes.
Brandon's here.
Brandon, what is up? Welcome, my dude.
Groose? He says, Groose is the next Smash DLC character. Now I gotta get back to work. Good luck, everyone.
I don't even know who Groose is.
I don't know who Groose is, but thank you for dropping by and making us ponder who this... I can look it up, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Tyler's on his computer.
Let's look it up.
So for the Smash DLC, we only have 2 slots left in this Fighter Pass 2. If you see me keep touching my head, it's because I got out of the shower right before this, and I didn't even think to fix my hair. And then the stream started, and I was like, oh, no, I look like a wet dog. But...
character from Skyward Sword.
Oh, duh. That would be cool. That would be, I think that was mostly a joke because he's not, like, a main character. But I would love to see some more Zelda love in Smash. Because we have, in Smash Bros., you have 3 different versions of Link. You have Kid Link, Link, and Toon Link. Then you have Zelda, Sheik, and Ganondorf. That's 6 characters. Mm-hmm. Where, like, from the Mario series, you have Mario, Luigi, Dr. Mario, Peach, Daisy, Bowser, all of the Bowser Jr., like the Koopa kids, and then Donkey Kong is technically, a Mario character we're gonna do. But like, I could see some more Zelda representation. It's probably the best franchise Nintendo has put out as far as like just consistent level of everything. But should we jump into the topics?
Yes.
All right. So, our first topic of the day is the Bethesda Merger with Microsoft. So, this merger happened a while ago. Like, the news about this broke months ago, I think.
Months ago, yeah.
But it became official yesterday. And so, for you're not as in the gaming side
right.
as I am. So, I would say this is like the equivalent. Maybe. I'd say this is the equivalent of not when Disney purchased Marvel, because that became bigger. Or sorry, not when Disney purchased Star Wars. Even though Marvel's the more successful franchise for them right now, Star Wars was the bigger property, if that makes sense.
Right.
Marvel was on the brink of bankruptcy, and their stuff wasn't that successful. So like they were big, but it wasn't as big as Star Wars.
Right.
I'd say that's what this is. It's huge. So Microsoft is Disney in this case, and Bethesda is Marvel.
Is Bethesda hurting as much as?
No.
Okay.
No, Bethesda has made some of the best games ever. They made Skyrim. So
Gotcha.
like that right there, they own Doom. So not just the new Dooms, but they own all of the original Dooms.
Oh, so they've been around for a while.
Yes, they didn't make those Dooms. They bought them, but it is their property at this point.
Got it.
But they have, so right now we are getting 20 games at launch, which was yesterday, to Game Pass. So Game Pass is, let's keep this Disney metaphor going.
Yeah.
Game Pass
That's how I understand
is
things.
the Disney Plus of Xbox.
Right. Okay,
So,
that makes sense.
Xbox isn't as focused at selling their hardware for a profit anymore. Where like the PlayStation 5, people are gonna hate me for saying this. I don't own either, and right now I own a regular Xbox One, like the OG, and a PS4 Pro, and a Switch, and a gaming computer.
Right.
So like there's no like hate any direction here, but the PS5 is not as good as the Xbox Series X. It's just not as far as the machine itself. And with that said, you can have a better time on the PS5 maybe, but like the hardware in the Xbox Series X is the most powerful hardware in any console ever. That is selling for the same price as the PS5 though, because Microsoft basically sells their stuff at cost. Because their idea is, okay, we sell an Xbox at cost, but then you buy all these games. Right. And you buy all this. And Microsoft is big on the subscription services. They had Xbox Live originally, They technically still do, but it's going away. But what Game Pass is, it's a library of over 100 games, and you can download any of them for free and play them. It's like you own them as long as you have Game Pass.
And these aren't new? Are these new releases?
Some
too?
of them are new, some of them are old. So every single Microsoft game goes to Game Pass immediately. So when the new Halo comes out, if you have Game Pass, you instantly can play it.
And how much is it for the subscription service?
So Game Pass, I think, is $9 a month for base Game Pass. But then there's Game Pass Ultimate. And that includes Game Pass for your computer and for your Xbox. And that comes with cloud streaming. So my phone, I have a controller that's like an Xbox controller that goes on the side. It's called the Razer Kishi. I can stream games to my phone. Like
That's cool.
brand new Xbox games,
cool,
because
man.
all the processing is happening in the cloud.
That's awesome.
And then it comes with Xbox Live. So that's $15 a month. So maybe you only buy one game a year, but if you have Xbox Live, or if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, that's still 4 times. That's like buying 4 games a year now.
And you just mentioned Xbox Live.
Yes, I did.
Which was a thing at some point.
It still is. It's bundled into Ultimate now, but I think it's going away completely at the end of the year.
Refresh my memory on what that was exactly.
That's just where you can play online with your friends. That is the access to the online.
Okay.
But so this move is huge because the whole thing with the PlayStation was the exclusives. Not the whole thing. The PS4, had stuff, but kind of like this current generation, the Xbox One X was more powerful than the PS4 Pro.
Right.
But the PS4 was outselling it like 2-1. So getting these exclusives, because that's what everyone would say, okay, well, I can play exclusives on my PS5 or on my PS4. And it's true. The best games of the last generation, for the most part, could only be played on a PS4. But now you have extremely popular games like Skyrim and all of the Elder Scrolls games and Doom. And it's like, so wait a second. Are these going to come out for the PlayStation when the new game comes out?
Yeah.
Whenever the new Doom comes out? Whenever the new Elder Scrolls comes out? So that's something that people are starting to question. And, Bethesda, you have some heavy hitters there. And they're one of the most popular studios, I'd say, as far as game dev goes. They kind of, because of microtransactions, have been falling into people's bad graces. But it's not as bad as EA. And speaking of EA Play is part of Game Pass now too. So like all the EA games you can play with if you have Game Pass. So it's kind of interesting because it's the beginning, but Microsoft keeps buying all of these random studios.
Right.
And this is by far the biggest acquisition they've ever made. And it's live. And if you don't have Game Pass, I believe the first month of Ultimate is only $1. That's like how they get you, sign up for $1 and then just stay signed up. But yeah, so if you want to play all of these Bethesda games, like Game Pass is the way to go. I think Doom Eternal is on there, the newest Doom.
Nice.
Which you remember how hyped we were,
oh yeah,
with the lights and stuff.
Oh yeah. We watched the trailer with the Philips Hue lights going on. That was pretty awesome.
And I've been meaning to get that game, but it's like there's so many other expenses I have. There's so many other games, and now I'm like, oh sweet, I'm literally gonna download it tonight and play it. Nice. So it's one of those things where it's just like, this is huge, and what does this mean, for like the future of gaming? It's like, I don't know where, is the Xbox gonna become, because like I said with Game Pass, it's not just Xbox anymore. I can play it on my phone.
Right.
I can play it on the system. I can play it on my computer. You can play it on your Apple, on your iPhone. I think that's coming, or on a Mac through the browser, because Game Pass for the browser's coming.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, what does exclusive mean at this point? Like, are there going to be games that you can only do on Game Pass Xbox?
Right.
Or like, no, if you have as long as you have Game Pass, you can play it. But that's probably, as far as gaming goes, the biggest gaming news this week. And I'm excited to see how things turn out with that. Definitely. And like
Nate Ludlow in the chat, Ludlow, says that the Game Pass is amazing. He says, I've just beaten Wolfenstein, The New Order, and it was awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Wolfenstein is Bethesda?
Yes, Wolfenstein is Bethesda as well.
Got it.
Technically, Wolfenstein and Doom, they're like loosely in the same universe.
Okay.
Bethesda, they keep going back and forth. They're like, no, the main protagonist in Doom is Doom Guy, the Doom Slayer. It's just you as the player. But then in other games, his name was like BJ Blazkowicz or whatever. And then in Wolfenstein, one of your characters, the main character's name is Blazkowicz. So it's like, no, he's actually like his great-great-grandchild.
That's cool. That's cool.
No, yeah, I like that. But yeah, I know the Wolfenstein games, even the old ones, which that was my dad's favorite game, like on the computer back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Was Wolfenstein. So
already up to 8 likes. Thank you guys so much.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for bringing in the likes. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this Game Pass news, especially too. Competition breeds competition. Mm-hmm. If the PS4 didn't completely destroy, because they won 2 generations in a row, the PS3 beat the Xbox 360, right, and the PS4 beat the Xbox One. And if that didn't happen, I don't think we would even have Game Pass. I don't think we would even have the ability to stream the stuff on our phone. Microsoft's done so much crazy stuff in response to that, because it's like, okay, because if you think about it, like, the hardware is the barrier to entry. So it's like, you want to make a profit off of your Xboxes, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if we only sell 100 Xboxes, there's only 100 people to sell games to.
Right.
And that's where the money comes from.
Right.
So they saw pretty quickly, like, we're being outsold 2-1 by the PS4, mm-hmm, which then gives you more of a reason to buy a PS4. Well, which one do my friends have? PS4. All right, that's what I'm going to buy. And because of that, it's like, any game that they make, they can only make X amount of profit based on the systems they have sold.
Right.
So then Xbox Play Anywhere comes out, where it's, hey, now you can play games on your computer. As long as you buy a Microsoft game in the Microsoft Store, you'll own it on your Xbox and your computer. Mm-hmm. But then that was still just Microsoft games. And then Game Pass came out in Game Pass PC, which then led to Game Pass Ultimate. And like, there's so many other things. Like, they created a controller for handicapped people, which is like super customizable, where like you can plug all sorts of things. Basically, any type of disability that you could have, this thing is so modular that like there'll be a way for you to play.
That's cool.
And it's like, you can plug a Wii remote in, like a Wii remote style nunchuck in it, and all this stuff. And like, I don't think half of the stuff Microsoft's doing would have happened if Sony hadn't been outselling them so much.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So with that said, like, I'm curious to see how the PlayStation is going to answer back. Because right now, PlayStation has VR. Xbox doesn't yet, which is surprising since they have their own. Microsoft has their own line.
Yeah, of mixed reality
headsets.
I always thought that was kind of strange. Like,
they teased it for the Xbox One, and then they just like were like, actually, never mind.
huh?
But
Weird.
yeah, so I'm excited to see how Sony answers back here. You know, if they're gonna start trying to buy some more studios, or if they're just going to create some more studios or create some new hardware. You know, some strategic partnerships. Like, it's just.
Well, there was the whole thing where I remember, I don't know, a year ago now, maybe, but Sony was going to get rid of their entertainment. Well, they said their entertainment division is what they said, I think.
Yes.
I don't know if that was strictly just the movies.
That was just the movie
just,
side. Yeah.
Probably just the movie side. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was their. Yeah. So the PlayStation 4. So we kind of call things like by their name, just shorthand, because like it's just easier. So, you know, we say Sony, and it's like, okay, are you talking about a movie? Are you talking about a video game system? Are you talking about a TV? So, I forget the full name of Sony Japan. I think it's Sony Electronics, but that's like the umbrella that everything's under.
Right.
The movie company it's an American company that they just own. It's Sony Pictures Releasing.
Right.
And that is strictly their entertainment division, where the PlayStation falls under the same category as like the TV or the TVs and the electronics.
Got it.
Yeah.
So there's not a separate gaming division.
So they create. I mean, they're like is under that, but like if you're to look at the order of how things go, like the PlayStation 4 and the games are considered electronics, just like they consider their TVs and any other products.
It's an entertainment system. That makes sense.
Where then the game or the movie division, that is just an entertainment company that they own.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I still would love to see Apple buy that side, but you know me, I got my stories about like how that would work out, and I'll put a little video together soon. But
yeah, man.
But yeah. Do you want to jump to the next topic?
Sure. Unless you have anything else you want to cover on this topic.
Wasn't that such a smooth segue?
It was a great segue.
Oops, there goes. That's not the topic. That was our background.
The Justus.
The Justus.
The Juicy Justice League.
The Justice League.
The Justice League. It's a very juicy time. So the Zack Snyder's Justice League. His cut. It's weird. It's like you call it the Zack Snyder Cut.
But it's like the original. Yeah.
It's like it should just be called the Justice League. So that comes out in
5 days.
Less than a week. We need to figure out what we're gonna do for that, because I know that we have a panel discussion that we want to put together, and then we want to review it together. I have a shoot that weekend that I got to go to, so Saturday and Sunday I'm helping somebody out with a thesis.
For sure.
So we'll have to figure out. We'll have to be on the ball with that one. But we definitely expect our review for the film. It's a 4-hour film, so
yeah,
get all your snacks ready, and figure out a plan and make it happen. It's on HBO Max.
Yes, it is.
So
keep refreshing Tom and Jerry all week just in case they mess up again.
Well, so it's on HBO Max, and I remember. So we streamed Wonder Woman 84.
Yep.
And it was kind of difficult.
Yeah.
To stream that, and I would say that the streaming quality of that was not spectacular. Compared to other streaming services. And so I'm worried, and I wonder if the site's gonna crash.
So, a quick question about that, because I wasn't with you when you streamed that one. Did you guys mess with the settings at all? Because on Hulu, the default is smoothest experience, where I don't like that, and I change it to best quality available. But so smoothest experience is like, oh, we're gonna to lower the load, we're gonna reduce the quality and add some compression here, where best available quality, I've never had it buffer, so that's why I'm a little confused, because it's never frozen to pause for a minute to make sure it stays good quality. It's just always been good quality, or the quality might dip for a second and go back up. But I know before I switched it, I was just man, Hulu sucks. And then I switched it, and I was like, Hulu's my favorite. And then HBO Max came out, and I'm just I love HBO Max.
HBO Max. Yeah, no. No, we didn't mess with any settings.
Okay, so that's, I don't know if that's in there or not. We should mess with that right after the stream ends.
That could have been the reason. Who knows? But I do wonder. I mean, this is going to bring a lot of traffic to the site, and so I just hope they're ready.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know how I didn't consider it, but like...
So be prepared.
What was it?
For you not to be able to watch this when it drops.
Was it Luke Cage? Was Luke Cage what crashed Netflix?
It wasn't. I thought it was Daredevil season 3.
Was it season 3 that crashed
I thought
it? Okay. I know they had a few of them happen, but I know one of the Marvel properties crashed it, and it was like...
Might have been Luke Cage. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it was Luke.
Right.
I think it was Luke Cage.
You might be right.
But the question there now is, how successful will this be? Because, so, do you think that this will be the most streamed event in streaming service history? Because this has become more than just a movie.
Yeah. No,
like,
I would say. I mean, there hasn't been many examples either, so it's not really. It doesn't have like heavy competition. You know.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see this being the most streamed thing of the year for sure. I think it's got definitely enough hype. People are curious, and whether you're a fan of Zack Snyder's stuff or not, at least
it's become more than that. Yeah,
you're gonna check it out. Now, will people? Well, here's the thing: it's so long that you could maybe you watch the first hour, and if you're, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's great for the first hour, then yeah, like I'll finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But also too, like if I'm not feeling it within that first hour,
yeah, I could see that.
We're gonna watch the whole thing, obviously. But I'm just from a casual fan's perspective, or somebody who's kind of apprehensive about it, or doesn't really know if they're down for it or not. I feel like there's gonna be a chunk out there who it's a lot of pressure on one thing.
Yeah,
on a movie, you know
especially too,
and then swinging for the fences for going 4 hours. I mean, that's.
And we've seen with WandaVision, your newest episode of The Rendered Image straight up had the title, "Our Fan Theories Killing Our Enjoyment."
Right.
I would even rephrase that title here to make it apply differently. But it's the same thing. But our fan expectations ruining our enjoyment.
Yeah.
Specifically for WandaVision, I'm not saying that wasn't a good title. Specifically for WandaVision, it had to do with theories.
Mm-hmm.
But now going into this, this has reached mythic proportions.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do people expect? I keep seeing articles about the green. It's so interesting. I have never seen, I don't like to be a conspiracy person, but also I've never seen such bias against something,
Right.
And people can complain about how toxic, people are no matter what. Here's the deal. When you have millions of people following something or hundreds of thousands, the negative stuff always rises to the top. It's
of course.
No matter what, you're going to have 1 million people. 10 of those aren't even a percentage. You know what I mean? That's not even big enough to be a percent, or even a percent of a percent. But then you get these articles with, here's these 10 tweets, and it's yeah, look what all these people are saying. And my thing about the Snyder Cut is we knew it existed. We knew it existed for a fact. We had We had the editor on it. I forget his name. The guy who directed the Dark Knight Returns movies. But he straight up said multiple times, in the very beginning, there is a complete timeline. I have seen it myself laid in this timeline. From beginning to end, there is a whole movie assembled.
Right.
And then Zack Snyder said, yes, it exists.
Got to clarify what that means, though. That does not mean that it's a complete movie.
Correct.
Yes.
But my point is
it's an assembly cut, which means it's just all of the raw. It could be a little bit more defined, but it strictly just existed in a rough cut stage.
Correct.
The visual effects were not done. The sound design was not done, and they had to have the actors come back in and re-record some scenes, and they added some other stuff. So it wasn't a finished film.
I think my point with it though is people can say that Snyder Cut fans are toxic all they want, but there's been an unprecedented amount I mean, I could say unprecedented. I don't know. I didn't pull the numbers, but of people just straight up like, and when I say not even people, sorry, of like publications, like all of these. I've seen it from Screen Rant. I've seen it from CBR. Almost like mocking, like, guys, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. Stop asking for it before they announced it.
Oh yeah.
And like and we're like, no. Here's this person saying like, they're like, no, they have all the footage.
Yeah,
like,
no. I mean, those are just those outlets. Those outlets just are, they're news outlets. They're not filmmakers.
But I think my point that I'm trying to make is like you have these like warring factions going into this movie coming out. You have people who are like, no matter what, are gonna say this is the best thing ever, and then you have people who no matter what, are going to be like 10 reasons the Snyder Cut failed, 3 things it did successfully.
Oh yeah.
And like it's just so interesting because I've never seen.
That's gonna be the.
You have Lucasfilm versus the fans, kind of at some points, like after episode 8.
I would say more than kind of. There's a good faction of that franchise fandom that doesn't like what's going on there either.
Yeah,
so.
well, I even mean the company though, like saying statements about the fans and calling people man-child and stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I mean,
but
there's a battle going on there too.
But I feel like we haven't seen something where it's because I feel like how this is gonna play out is every single publication is gonna trash the Snyder Cut when it comes out.
Most critics who are movie critics will probably trash it.
Exactly.
For
and
sure.
then there's gonna be like this whole thing. It's like an event, and I'm just like, I didn't think about it crashing, but you're right. It's gonna crash most likely. Like stuff's gonna crash. People are gonna be going wild. Like it's gonna be a civil war.
Something's gonna happen.
It's gonna be a Snyder Cut civil war.
There's gonna be something happening with the launch, and yeah, I mean the backlash. There's gonna be a huge portion of this fan base that loves it and thinks it's the best, and then there's gonna be a huge part of the fan base that absolutely hates it.
Yeah,
and I would, and then there's a middle ground. I feel like I'm gonna land in the middle ground because I'm gonna judge it as a film. Do I love DC? Yeah, like I'm a DC fan. But I'm not in either camp. I'm not just going to hate it just to hate it. There's going to be good things I'm going to like about it. There's going to be things that I don't like about it. In terms of Zack Snyder, I mean, you can go after me and tell me how you feel about Zack Snyder. I think, I've said this before, I think Zack Snyder is a visual storyteller. I think a lot of his films work as silent films. If you play the soundtrack to his films, you can watch them as almost silent films. With the music, he's a very visual guy. And so I think on that level, I think it'll look beautiful. I think he has such an interesting interpretation of these characters. It's not the regular interpretation of these heroes. Yeah, and it's very much his own interpretation, and that's why I've said in the past that I'm a fan of reboots. I'm a fan of not necessarily remakes. Remakes are fine, but more reboots because you're rebooting the franchise. You're doing something different with it other than a remake that is just like we're literally remaking the same movie. Yeah. That's why I've always said I'm a fan of that stuff because it is just a different take on it. And I think it's important to have, specifically with these monumental heroes, it's important to have different viewpoints. It's important to see heroes and these characters given to us on different points of views. So I'm excited, but I will definitely judge it, and I will be very honest with my opinion. There's going to be some things I love about this movie. There's going to be mainly the Batman stuff. I'm really looking forward to Ben Affleck as Batman. Yeah. And then everything else is kind of like, we'll see how it goes.
No, yeah, and I think so. What's really interesting here is, a lot of times we have different opinions, but also, too, like, it's just so cool when you can respect someone's opinion, but we get to those opinions from the same facts. So,
yes.
I enjoyed Wonder Woman 84 a ton. There was things that I would change.
I did not.
But I liked it a lot. And when we were discussing it, Tyler would bring stuff up, and he's like, yeah, I had an issue with this. And I'm like, yeah, so did I. Like, I wasn't, like, overlooking things. Like, I still had those... Like, we had the same issues type thing. Like, it was like, no, yeah, like, I did not like that they did this. I did not like that they did that. I did not like... And it's like, wait, I thought you liked this. I thought you said you liked this film. And for me, what I like about the DC films is these heroes are superheroes. With Marvel, I've always felt like I'm watching heroes. You know, up until WandaVision, like the most super thing that we've seen done was Captain America like struggle to hold this helicopter back. You know, which was really cool. Winter Soldier is one of my favorite movies. But like, when I watched the first Wonder Woman and she jumps through, they boost her up with the door from the tank as she jumps,
that was
and
cool.
she just destroys the top floor of that building. Like, I'm watching something larger than life.
Yes.
And that's been my thing with the DC movies, and that's where my enjoyment of them really comes from. I'm more willing to, we all have our willingness to forgive a flaw in different degrees and for different reasons. Well, if this movie has that, then I don't care about X, Y, and Z. Well, if they take away Mysterio's helmet, then I am not going to like Far From Home no matter what.
Right.
Like stuff like that. And like that might sound crazy. Like, that's the camp I was in. Like,
if Wolverine's not under 5 feet.
Yeah. And with the DC movies, my thing is like, I'm not going to say I'll forgive anything as long as it's super,
Right.
But like, seeing her swing from those lightning bolts and like all that stuff, like, it was larger than life. I liked the fight with Cheetah. People were like, it was a CG mess. I thought it looked fine. I thought Cheetah looked creepy. Like, I liked that.
Yeah.
I didn't like the resolution of some stuff per se.
Exactly.
But so I think that's like what's really cool is like, we can go into stuff and have the same opinions on it largely, and then have like a completely different final opinion.
Except for Wonder Woman 84, which I thought was ridiculously not very good at all. You bring up the cloud thing, and I'm glad that you liked it, but I just thought that moment wasn't earned. I was like, it could have been. I don't know. There's a lot of problems with that movie.
No, yeah, there was a lot. The
further
further away I get from it, the more I see them. But like, I still know like if I watched it again, I would have a good time. But
it's just that plot was so incoherent.
Hey, Alicia, welcome to the video.
That plot was so incoherent. I just found myself being like, what is going on?
Not one person kept their wish. Like, not one. But no, yeah, I feel you. I think that's
the logic of that movie falls apart.
I think that's a Patty Jenkins problem more than anything else. But we might make a video talking about.
She was a writer on this, and this is my thing. I don't know where this like comes into, or like if you get so. Because I think in order to get good at writing films is such a specific. We've written some stuff before, which you will see our work soon. We're working on some stuff.
Yeah.
But writing scripts is not easy to do. There's a specific, in like building stories, and it's a lot different than other forms of writing. And so I feel like directors kind of maybe get a little too big for their britches, and they're just like, I can write, or like. It's like, well, maybe you need to spend a little bit more years developing that skill before you write Wonder Woman 2.
I don't even think it's that with her. Like, this might sound hard. Like, I'm worried about her. I'm not so worried about her with Star Wars, because Star Wars is just about these Star Wars. As far as we know, she's doing Squadrons, right?
Yeah, I don't know if she's writing it though.
And that is about, it's clearly, it doesn't have. Wonder Woman has Wonder Woman in the title. We know who that's about. That's about one person.
Right.
Squadrons is about a group, Squadrons. Clearly there's going to be multiple people. So I'm not concerned there. But recently, Zack Snyder shared the image from Batman v Superman that Batman found, that Bruce found, that showed that Wonder Woman's been around for a long time and that there's other supers. And what that was, he just shared it. It was from the Crimean War. And there's like a samurai in the background, and there's all this cool stuff, and then there's Gal Gadot just holding a severed head. And like, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
But then Patty Jenkins commented on that since it's out, and people were asking her about it, and she said that wasn't the story I want to tell, which is fine. You can want to tell whatever story if you're the director,
Right.
But then she followed it up with, I don't want to see Wonder Woman holding someone's head. Like, I don't want to see this violence. That's not the story. She said, I don't want to see some of the violence. That's not the story I want to tell women. And that's not how I want to show women. And that worried me because if you read the comics, Wonder Woman's one of the most violent.
Yeah. And,
her weapon is a sword. Like, she does that. She cuts people's heads off and goes stabby stab, like... And that's, in the first one, there was just one movie, and everyone agreed the third act was the weakest part with Ari's.
Right.
However, all in all, people generally liked that movie. But now the second one, once again, we get a third act with no violence. And
yeah,
you're not making Wonder Woman exclusively for women. I'm almost positive if we looked at the audience, that would be a majority male audience still. Just because, like, our channel, for example, we talk about this stuff on our channel. We do video games and we do movies and TV. We know I'm friends with a lot of women who play video games and are into this nerd stuff. Alicia's in the chat right now, and we talked about WandaVision the whole time she was here. However, demographic-wise, our channel is, I just looked at this the other day, it was 98.8% male. 1.2% female. But we're talking about stuff that both groups care about.
Right.
But the thing is, just objectively, there are more men into, empirically, looking at the data.
Right.
The audience for superheroes and for video games skews more male.
Yeah.
So that's just a really interesting, thing to say when you're directing Wonder Woman, which is, I don't want her to have to rely on violence. That's not the message I want to show women, and that's not the movie I want to make for women. And it's but your audience is going to have a larger male percentage.
And you bring up a really great point, because this is the difference between DC and Marvel. Clearly, that's the example of the fact that there is no consistency between these characters. That means that it means that Patty Jenkins and Zack Snyder weren't in a room together.
Yep.
And talking about these characters. But if you look at Marvel, everyone knows who these characters are at Marvel.
Yeah.
You can walk into Marvel Studios and everyone is on the same page because of because of Kevin Feige. I think that's what Warner Brothers needs. Warner Brothers and DC need somebody
I agree with that.
to be the head. And if the Snyder Cut blows up and it's stupid successful, and they, and we can talk about this too and speculate, and then we can move on. I don't want to keep on this topic a bunch, but maybe they decide to make Justice League 2.
Yep.
Maybe Justice League 3. Maybe they give him, but
as of right now, they're saying, which, we'll talk about this more, but so for those of you who don't know, they are Warner Bros. When I say they, is Warner Bros. They are saying no matter how successful Snyder Cut is, there's no plans to continue that story.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll see.
We'll see about that.
But no, yeah, I agree. I think a good example is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to have Thor in it.
Yep.
And Love and Thunder, I'm assuming, will have the Guardians in it. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but
yeah, there's set photos. Yeah, not Paul. Oh my goodness, Chris Pratt is.
Okay, cool.
Is in Thor: Love and Thunder.
So I'm willing to bet money that James Gunn is going to be involved in Love and Thunder.
Oh, I'm sure.
And Taika Waititi is going to be talking with James Gunn.
Those are the directors of those movies, for those who don't know.
That, I'm almost positive that, I'm so positive I would bet money that these directors are involved in each other's movies.
Exactly.
Because if Thor's in Guardians, you best believe, Thor is Waititi's dude. That's what Marvel does. They give you someone, they didn't in the beginning, which makes me sad because I would love for Favreau to still be doing Iron Mans. But that's what Marvel does. It's, okay, you're the Guardians guy. Okay, Russos, you are the Captain America and large event guys.
Right.
Okay, Waititi, you do... I said that? I meant Gunn. I think I said Gunn, you're the Thor guy. Gunn, you're the Guardians guy.
Right.
Waititi, you're the Thor guy. That's what they do. And these
10
directors
Thank you so much.
get together, And, the Russos directed Infinity War and Endgame, but all of those directors were involved.
Yes,
and
they all came on, yeah.
You're right. I think that is what DC's missing. I like the DC movies more than most people. I enjoyed the heck out of Suicide Squad. I did not enjoy the third act. That third act was garbage. Especially when, these people, there was, maybe, 10 seconds of bonding across that whole movie. And then all of a sudden, El Fuego is... Or not El Fuego, that's El Diablo.
El Diablo.
Whose power is El Fuego, though. His power is fire. I saved it. All of a sudden,
Oh my goodness. All right.
El Diablo's like, I already lost one family. I'm not losing another. And I was just like, oh, what? When did these people become your family?
That's another thing. Yeah. Like,
You told them the story. That was your whole bonding. You told them the story about how you accidentally burned your house down.
yeah, exactly.
Like-
yeah. They spent like a night together. That's the problem. Like that's my thing, especially with like go back to Wonder Woman.
The unearnedness.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
unearnedness, and then like the jumps in logic when characters say stuff, and you're like, and if you turn your brain off, it doesn't matter. Whatever, you're just having fun. But if you think about stuff at all, just for a second, you're like, wait, what? You're like, that doesn't make any sense, and then it pulls you out of the movie. And yeah,
Yep.
that was a specific example where I was like, oh,
Yeah, I know. I did that too. I felt like I'm sure I didn't actually do this, but on the inside, I felt like I was like, ooh, like, yeah. I think the last thing I want to say about Justice League, since we are talking about the Suicide Squad a little bit now, which James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy is making that, but we know, David Ayer said that essentially there were like 16 cuts of Suicide Squad. Like,
oh yeah,
there were like 16 different cuts. Then the studio made him backpedal. He's like, no, the version of the movie you're seeing is
Astral
my
Effect
version.
is in the chat.
Yo, what is up, Astral?
What's up, Astral?
Welcome. We are just finishing our Snyder Cut discussion, and we're going to move on in a second. But I'm just curious what you think. If the Snyder Cut's successful, do you think we'll be able, like, even percentage-wise, I don't need a yes or no, do you think there's a chance that we'll get the Ayer cut
I think you know my answer.
of Suicide Squad? Because that would unleash the mob. Like,
Oh.
that's my thing.
Super chat.
Yo!
Astral Effect with the 199
Thank
super
you
chat.
so much.
Thank you so much.
And there's
And he-
Mario. Oh, you missed
There's
it.
like a hippo. No, I saw it.
Oh,
up there.
okay,
That's
cool.
That's what alerted me for the thing. And there's a hippo eating the one up.
Nice. So I think YouTube's so interesting, which they're just trying to help the creator. I think that's technically a super sticker.
Oh.
It does the same thing. The same percentage of the money goes to the channel, regardless of it whether it's a chat or a sticker. But I think that is a super sticker. But
Oh.
thank you so much, Astral.
Pretty super sticker. Right
Yeah,
there.
no,
like
I
it.
really like it. I haven't seen that
Oh,
one.
Astral, you say you're excited for the Snyder Cut? Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, dude, 5 days.
it's probably the biggest movie event of the year.
And also, too, putting
Honestly.
aside, like, while I am excited for it, what I'm about to say, like, this is a fact. And, like,
To answer your question,
oh, yes, sorry. Super chat distracted me.
I don't think we're gonna get it.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
see, I don't either.
Too much time has passed, I think.
I don't either, but I'm also just like, if the Snyder Cut mob gets sicked onto that, and Warner Bros. Sees, like, hey, listening to the mob yielded success with the numbers. Because remember, the Joker is going to be in this movie.
Right.
And people might like that. And Jared Leto even said, he made a whole Joker. Like, he's like, this could have been a Joker movie. So if people
True.
really love the scene... Oh, I heard the ding. Is that something else?
Astral with another super sticker.
Hey, thank you so much, Astral.
We got like a super chick.
a super chick.
It's like a super chick.
Are you talking about Wonder Woman?
No, it's like a super. Is that a pear? Or a lemon?
That's a lemon. That's a
lemon.
lemon. It looks like Lemon Grab from Adventure Time.
Yeah, the original Justice League. He says, Astral says the original Justice League was meh in his opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed it, but it left me not wanting more in the good way. Like, something can leave you wanting more where you're like, oh, I can't wait to get more of that. It left me where I wished I had gotten more.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this didn't have what I wanted.
It felt like a shell of a movie, for sure.
And this will be good news for you if you were excited about the Snyder Cut. Because while I am excited about it, this is straight up putting my bias to the side. It will be better than Justice League. Like, objectively, it cannot be worse. And that's not to say Justice League is the worst movie ever made, but how Justice League was made, you had Snyder making his thing, and then Warner basically nudged him out and used his daughter as a reason to get him to leave, but they also were kind of showing him the door anyways.
Yeah.
Then they hired Joss Whedon, and people can poo-poo on him all they want, but then we know that they then made Whedon change things that he did.
Yeah.
So Whedon didn't get free reign either.
Exactly.
The opening scene, how that went, which, you know, for better or worse, we didn't see this version, so I can't say. But Batman fighting the Parademon was basically supposed to end with, like, some witty pun from Batman and not be a dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was supposed to show, like, this is how tough Batman is. Like, look at him take this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, end it with, like, a pun. And it didn't, because Warner changed Whedon's version. So you have 3 different creative entities all messing with something that, when something's written, it has a definitive... Zack Snyder had a story.
Yeah.
And that is why I say anyone who, you know, without even seeing this, it will be better. I'm not saying it'll be great. Maybe people, you know, you might not like it still. I might not like it, but I know it will be better because it is the definitive, it is the original story. There's so many things that happen in Justice League where you're like, why is this happening? Where did this come from? And that's from all these different people.
It was a Frankenstein.
Messing with his story, where it's like, okay, well, it's going to be more cohesive. Like, that's just it can't not be. So be excited, because if you thought the first one was meh,
Be excited.
at the very worst, this is going to be better than meh.
Well, Astral said that he's excited for it. Astral, I'm curious, put in the chat what you're most excited about. Like, what excites you about the Snyder Cut? Let us know. We'll read it at the end. I don't want to keep on this for too much. Oh, he says, can we just get a better remake of Batman v Superman? Because I couldn't make it past the 20 minutes into the movie. Yeah, man. It wasn't...
That's one I love, but I also, like, acknowledge, which, again, they were super, you know. Even Doomsday, I didn't hate, you know. I wish we got more bony Doomsday than we did.
Right.
But, like, even him, I was just like, okay, that's the version they're going with. Like, at first I was like, he's a Ninja Turtle. Then his bones are breaking and they start protruding, and Superman's giving him radiation, and his body dealing with the radiation is literally making it into protrusion so it doesn't kill him. I'm like, all right, that makes sense to me. I can roll with it. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'd understand how convoluted, you know. I don't normally like the honest trailers that much anymore, because I feel like they're a little too, like, nitpicky.
Yeah.
Like, whereas I'm just like, this isn't even funny to me. The Batman v Superman one, while it is nitpicky, there's also a point where they're like, here's the plot, and it's like, yo, this is really, like, Lex's plan is so,
Yeah, no.
like, what are you doing, Lex? Wouldn't this be simpler?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, like, for me, things have to be earned, and that whole entire movie is just a response. It wasn't a good plan. It wasn't earned. We didn't get, it was our first introduction to Batman. Superman had only had one movie, so for me, from the jump, the movie is just not earned. It's like, we haven't seen these characters go through enough. I haven't known these characters. I'm not really, I mean, I'm kind of invested in Henry Cavill's Superman, but, like, and I can quickly get, it's just, that movie had a lot to set up and a lot to do and a lot to earn in that amount of time, and it didn't do it.
Which, in, like, the Snyder Cut, that was a 4-hour movie originally. You know, Batman v Superman, Snyder, they kept giving Snyder permission to make whatever he wanted and to make these huge movies. And, like, this is documented. It gets lost because there's so much Snyder Cut news. But essentially, the studio watched Batman v Superman and said, we love this so much, everybody's going to love this. Because everybody's going to love it, they're going to want to see it at the theaters a ton. So we need to make it shorter so we can make more money from more showings. And then all of a sudden, they're forcing him to put these 4-hour epics into a 2-hour story, you know. I'd say it's Justice League Junior, because it's the same thing minus Joss Whedon and minus, you know, another director's version getting twisted even more. Yeah. But it still is the studio coming in and being like, you gotta shrink it up. Gotta take out everything we loved about it so there's time. And that's not a good plan to me. But yeah, I enjoyed Batman v Superman, but I definitely know there was a lot to be desired. I'm hoping Justice League gives us everything we desire. You know, I'm okay with the tiniest Green Lantern appearance, which I heard we're getting. You know, a lot of people think Ryan Reynolds is going to show up and be there for the whole movie as Green Lantern. And I'm like, no. You're going to hate the movie if that's what you're expecting.
Astral said he's most excited for Darkseid.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
The original Thanos.
Yeah. Yeah, the original. And, you know, my opinion, I've always liked Darkseid more. He's cooler. Like, he's so cool. But with that, we'll wrap up the Snyder Cut stuff because you're going to hear us talk a lot about it.
I'm going to say there's going to be
a review
videos.
And a panel discussion.
And Astral said that he's been a subscriber since the Super Mario Galaxy 2 video.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, where Mason was talking about almost getting arrested. Yes, I remember that when at GameStop.
Yes, I'm glad our stream is working too.
Yes.
Yesterday was crazy, man. It's just a fluke. I don't know what was going on yesterday.
It's super weird. I know. I did a hard reset of the internet and whatnot afterwards. Also, too, for anyone watching right now, if you have not yet dropped a like, consider dropping a like. They are always encouraged, never required.
Yes.
To put it simply, YouTube's algorithms reward engagement from the audience. So when they see a like, they'll put us in people's news feeds who aren't subscribed to us yet. If you're searching for Snyder Cut stuff, we're going to be higher on the Snyder Cut list the more likes we get than we would be without those likes. So you really do directly contribute to the growth of the stream. So for everyone who has liked, I want to thank you so much for that. Astral, again, I want to thank you so much for that super chat. And then also, too, if you're just here watching, thanks for watching. Oh. And people are already dropping more likes, so thank you guys. Seriously, we could not do this without you.
He says that we can just call him Justin.
Justin? Okay, cool.
Justin.
That's usually how it goes. I'll call someone like the weirdest username for a few days, and then they're like, "Oh, you can just call me Bob." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. What's up, Bob?" For sure, dude. All right, for sure, Justin. But we're gonna conclude our Snyder Cut stuff. Remember, we have a review of Snyder Cut coming up, like an initial reaction review, which whether that's both of us together or just me, or maybe I'm here and Tyler is, Skyping in, so that way he's only here for a small portion since he's going to be doing stuff on a film. But
true. Because I'll be involved in the other video, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have some sort of initial feelings video, initial review, but then just a couple days after the Snyder Cut comes out, we are having a long form discussion panel with some special guests. Excited about that, and that's probably gonna be 3 or 4 hours, I would assume. It's gonna be
oh yeah, if it's a 4-hour movie, man.
Exactly.
There's a lot to talk about.
It's gonna be a very large event. So don't worry if you were like, I love Snyder Cut discussion. Let's keep talking about that because we got plenty coming for you over this next week. But I want to jump over to Super Mario 35. So for those of you who don't know, which if you're into the Nintendo side of things, since that's what a lot of people on this channel are, not sure how you don't know yet, but this year. Or 2020 marked the beginning. 2020 was Mario's 35th birthday. So to celebrate, Nintendo had a year-long celebration of Mario's birthday. And that has just been the 35th Super Mario Bros. It doesn't even really make sense when you look at it. 35th Super Mario Bros. Okay, we're going to roll with it though. And they've been dropping cool games like Super Mario 35, which is the original Mario, but a 35-player free-for-all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. When you jump on enemies, it sends them to other people's game. So,
what?
Yeah, it's wild, dude.
That's wild.
We'll do it after this stream. That is going away in a few days, which Nintendo is that's going away soon because it's marking the end of the... every time people ask them, how are you, just taking this game away, they're like... But we don't look at it as taking it something away. We look at it as this is an event that people have been participating in. It's but no, you're so taking
they're pulling a Disney.
Yeah,
they're
basically.
we're gonna put Aladdin out on platinum DVD, and then we're gonna take it away.
Exactly like that. And but it's even weirder because if you have this game downloaded like me, the servers are going down. Wow. You cannot play it after this month. And there's the Mario 35th anniversary, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which is just the 3D games, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and then Mario Galaxy. That's going away at the end of this month. You can't download it digitally or physically. So it's what does that mean? Are they all just going to go on sale digitally for $25 each? Where now, if you want them all, that now comes out to $75 instead of $60.
Right.
We don't know. But with that said, there's one thing that's been missing, and that is now that Mario's birthday is over, it's kind of weird how they did it, because instead of celebrating just for 2020, they celebrated for a year. So it's 2021 now, and it has been for 3 months.
Right.
That is Zelda's 35th anniversary.
Aha.
So a lot of people are wondering, are we going to get a Zelda 35? Are we going to get a Zelda 35th anniversary celebration event? And
makes sense.
Nintendo announced during their last Nintendo Direct a remake of Skyward Sword, which was the one for the Wii. It's not a remake, sorry. It's a port and an upgrade. The graphics are upgraded, but a lot of people didn't like Skyward Sword because you could only use the Wii Remote and the nunchuck. There was no control, just non-motion control option.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
And when you don't like one thing, which we've noticed this with a lot, but like when you don't like one thing, you then tend to hate everything about it, you know? So because of that, then all of a sudden it was worst story ever, this and that, and there was just so much like hate, and it's just like, no, like the story's like pretty dope. It's the very beginning of the Zelda universe.
Yeah.
But that was the only thing they announced at the last Nintendo Direct, and people were like, well, that's all we're getting this year, that and some Joy-Cons with the Zelda logo.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that being a thing. We know Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year. Like, Breath of the Wild was the most successful Zelda game of all time. It is not my favorite. Oh, someone just subscribed, it looks like. Thank you so much for dropping a sub.
Awesome.
And welcome. I forgot I just set that up. So I thought like the stream was broken or hacked or something. I was like, what's happening? But I consider...
I will read your name as soon as it pops up here.
Oh, for sure.
I can't read it over there.
Yeah.
Because my eyesight is terrible.
That makes... Oh, it is... Oh, my stream's on 144 to not mess with the Wi-Fi. But I consider Breath of the Wild...
Fart Central.
Fart Central?
That's his name.
What a great name, dude. Thanks for subscribing, Farts.
Fart Central. All right.
Which, again, if you don't want to be called Farts, you can comment and tell us what else to call you. But thanks for the sub, Farts. But yeah, so by the way, we just did Stream Elements stuff. So, like, if you super chat, which you saw from Justin super chatting, it pops up on the screen. If you subscribe, it pops up. And now Fart Central's name, oh, duh, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
We just added the newest subscriber thing.
Yep.
I forgot.
So everyone can see it there. And then Justin said that the, I don't know if I'm going to mess this up, Ocarina remake, he hopes.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that's for Zelda?
So
he wants an Ocarina remake?
A lot of people consider Ocarina of Time the best Nintendo 64 game. And
is that the one in the silver box? I'm like trying to see things from my memory.
So
no.
If you think about Zelda, that's like, if you picture 3D Zelda at all, that's probably what you're picturing.
Okay.
Ocarina of Time while I would love, anytime I can get more Ocarina, I would love it. It's considered, up until Breath of the Wild, it was largely considered the best Zelda game. And Ocarina, essentially, you know, it was Skyrim, it was Breath of the Wild. It was like, you could explore anywhere. You could ride your horse wherever you want to go.
And when did that come out? Sorry.
That was on the Nintendo 64, so that was, like, I don't know, 98 or something?
98, 99? Okay.
And we've gotten so many different versions of Ocarina already. We've gotten it for the 3DS. We've gotten it ported to the GameCube. I think there was a Wii version? No. I can't think of this offhand. Like, I would love to see it, but I also too, like, I'm more rooting for these smaller games that haven't been reported yet, you know.
Right.
But I'm hoping we get a Zelda 3D All-Stars like we did with Mario, where, you know, we're getting which I guess my hopes are a little dashed with that because we got Skyward Sword.
Astral says that they're doing that.
They're doing what?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, like they announced a port already of Ocarina? If so, I missed that, and that's really cool. If that's what you're talking about.
Tough Rough Gold says that he thinks that they should port Twilight Princess HD to Switch.
Yes, I agree with that, Peter. They 100%.
His name's Peter? All right,
yes.
I will call you Peter. All right.
See, Tyler, it's like we got a couple different worlds going on. We have the movie world and the game world. And we have more stuff that's making them collide, but you're starting to get more introduced to the game people right now from Smash, so that's great.
Yeah. This is why I think this show is so important, and I think it's fun for us and for people to see our dynamic and us actually being together. I think it's a fun time.
Yeah, and I do want to note, too, we are equal partners on this channel. Yes. I might be in more stuff right now. Tyler is in school.
Yeah.
And then after school, like next weekend, he has to, like, on the weekends, sometimes, like, oh, I got to work on a thesis film. I'm going to film this. I have to do that. I got to, gaff on this or do the cinematography or DP for this, or there's so much stuff that goes into film school. He's graduating this year, and you're going to see a lot more of him. But even in the meantime, we have this every week now. This is a weekly event. We have the MCU reviews, which is a weekly event. The only reason that hasn't happened is because of this. Launching a new show takes precedence for the first episode. Yeah. But he has the rendered image, if you are just here from Smash, which is his gaming news show, where he talks about, which is his movie news show, where he talks about the latest movie and TV news. I can speak. But yeah, so you'll see like CM Music, and it's like, that's Dio, and it's like I have no clue how I've managed to maintain all of these like usernames, and it's like, that's their Discord name, and this is their real name, right? And then this is their Smash name.
Yeah, every person that's in the community has like 3 names associated to them, so that's great. Astral says Twilight. I think this is answer to the question of they're doing that. Twilight, they also announced Oracle of Seasons.
When was this? Was this today or something?
He says, as a shadow announcement 3 or 4 days after the Direct.
What? Oh. I want to say I don't believe you. I don't, but I also don't want to get my hopes up until I see it myself.
And I'm going to tell you, I have no clue what you're talking about.
I'm going to have to look this up after the stream,
So
dude.
I'm going to be on your side. I believe you. I'm going to take your side on that one.
I want to believe you.
I'm sure.
And I 90% do, but I can't get 100% there, because if I look it up and it's like, no, I'll be broken. I'll be a broken man. The Zelda franchise, Mario is Nintendo's bread and butter.
Right.
The Zelda franchise, it's so weird. Like, people posted this for Zelda's birthday was recently, the 35th birthday. And that's why people thought there was no Zelda 35 stuff going on, because they didn't say anything.
At the Direct?
Even before that, just on Zelda's birthday a few weeks back. Gotcha. But I'm like, we're still in Mario's birthday. So I could see them not doing that, because the Mario celebration, they said, lasts until the end of March.
Got it. Okay.
But that did put like a little damper on like some of the expectations.
13 likes.
Hey, thank you guys so much for the likes. But a lot of people posted, it got me thinking. People were like, happy birthday to the greatest gaming franchise of all time. And then I was like, yeah, like, it's not my favorite's Kingdom Hearts, and I know Kingdom Hearts has a lot of issues, but I don't think there's a bad Zelda. I think the worst Zelda game is still by itself, if you pretend Zelda doesn't exist and just take this one game. If you pretend the franchise doesn't exist, I think the worst Zelda game is still a great game, And I was like, there's so many Zeldas. Mm-hmm. And they're all bangers. And a ton of people considered Ocarina bangers, like the greatest video game ever made.
No more water.
And then a lot of people considered Breath of the Wild the greatest video game ever made. And it's like, wow, like, Zelda might be the greatest gaming franchise ever. Yeah. Which is just really impressive. And I'm really excited for this year. But do you guys think we are going to get a Zelda 35 celebration? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on that.
Yeah, do you think we're gonna get a Zelda celebration?
I would love one. I know the 18th.
So what's the time frame? Like how far would you go until you're just like, we're not gonna get it?
I would go like a couple weeks into April.
Okay.
Because Zelda's Mario celebration started with Mario's birthday. And like that's what it's going through. And even like Super Nintendo World is launching in Japan on the 18th, which I think they were really aiming for the 10th to open it on Mario Day.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if you've seen that theme park I'm not even saying, like, it's so hard to, like, put my bias aside. Like,
We talked about it when we played Bowser's Fury a little bit.
when we played what?
The Mario, the
Bowser,
Mario theme
yes.
park. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
So we played Bowser's Fury,
Okay.
and I thought we talked about it a little bit on there, or I brought it up, but I haven't seen anything on the park. No.
It looks like, as far as the experience goes, it looks like the best theme park. And by that I mean, like, you go to Universal, there's like Harry Potter portions, you know?
Right.
Literally every inch of that place is themed. Like, every inch has, like, stuff going on. Like, there's no, like, I'm in a theme park right now walking to the next attraction. Like, every single spot that you're at is, like, set designed to look like Mario. Like, there's nowhere where you're not in Mario World.
Right.
Like, it's insane, but I'm excited for that to open. If you guys
Justin, right?
Yeah.
Justin said there's talk around the E3 time getting an announcement of some sort of Zelda 35.
See, that would be exciting.
When is E3?
That E3 is in June.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I was gonna say July. That would be the time to do it, because we didn't have one last year. It, like, erased, like, from my memory that, like, yes, E3 is a thing. That is a good point. Yeah, I would like to see that. My April thing is now moved to June. I could see
Nice.
I could see some sort of Zelda 35th birthday celebration happening there.
Nice.
I would love to see a Zelda. So if one does happen, what do you want other than remakes? So, like, Super Mario 35 is its own brand new individual game.
Right.
You know? So, like, what type of thing would you want like that? Would you want a Zelda 35 where you're playing through the original Zelda, but it's like a, you know, a free-for-all type thing? I know personally I want to see Zelda Maker, like how there's Mario Maker.
Yep.
I would love to see a Zelda Maker where you can design your own dungeons and whatnot. I think that would be cool.
That would be super cool.
And in the source code for Breath of the Wild, people found, like, the dungeon designer, like, it's in the game, and it literally kind of functions like Mario Maker. So, like, in Breath of the Wild, there's these things called shrines. There's 120 of them. They're essentially the dungeons from, like, the original game. So you have to solve these puzzles, you have to fight enemies, and how they designed them was kind of plug and play, people found out. Like, if you were to, which I never encourage this type of behavior, but it's just a fact that this is how it works. If you were to have a copy of it on your computer and be messing with the code settings and whatnot, you could turn on the dungeon designer in it.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that because that architecture exists, that it would be decently easy to make a Zelda Maker. So that's, like, my sleeper announcement for the year. That I have my fingers crossed for as far as gaming stuff goes.
It'd be interesting. Moving on to the next topic.
We have Falcon
Sure.
and the Winter Soldier.
And next up on the MCU reviews, which happen on Fridays.
So, you finished WandaVision, you're looking for something new to watch. What do you think?
You still want that Marvel fix every week.
For those of you who don't know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts in 6 days. Comes out this coming Friday.
Yeah.
So, that's exciting. We don't know the exact time frame that it takes place in. We can assume right after Endgame is kind of my assumption. Like, maybe a few months have passed. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to take place almost right after, spoilers for Endgame, probably. But it's going to be probably right after Sam gets the shield, I would assume.
Nice.
Because then we know a little bit about it, but the government doesn't want Sam to be Captain America. So I think we're going to be dealing with that almost immediately.
And that makes sense considering the fact that he was, you know, the government
feels
tends
like
to be
feels like they own the Captain America name, and
well, not even that too, but the government tends to be bad guys more often than not in movies and whatnot, you know, in these stories and in comics and whatnot. Like, it's not that often that the government, like, comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
You know, usually the hero has to go against the government in some way, shape, or form at some point in their span of stories. So with that said, if we go back, Sam was one of the bad guys in Civil War. He broke the Sokovia Accords, and he got locked up because of that. The government might not be able to throw a dude who just destroyed Thanos and helped destroy Thanos and save not just Earth, but the whole universe in jail. But that doesn't mean they're going to want him carrying the title of Captain America. So
exactly,
I could see there being a lot of Sokovia discussion and stuff like that. Let's see. I see Peter says maybe it's taking place after WandaVision, and now the government won't be able to do anything because the General of S.W.O.R.D. got arrested. That's a good theory. That makes sense. I see Laughs is in here. So the name is Gaffs. Call him Laughs.
Oh, wait,
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, no. I know. On the Discord, his name is Laughs.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep it all straight for you.
Yeah. So I knew that.
Nice.
But so yeah, very interesting that it would have any ties to. I didn't even think of it. It didn't even dawn on me that like S.W.O.R.D. would really have anything to do with this show.
So one thing that's worth
But I'm
noting,
sure they do.
Well, also too, at first I was like, that's an interesting theory, and it's still interesting. But now the more I think about it, the less it can work, because WandaVision takes place over the course of 1 week. About a week is what the showrunner said when asked about it. And people were like, what? And I was like, yeah. But it takes place almost immediately after Endgame. I think like the total time would be, judging by when Monica joins S.W.O.R.D., he says you've only been up and running for a few weeks and you're already the first one in. Yeah. So this is probably 14 days after Endgame. So 21 days after the universe basically came back into existence as it used to be. And also, too, that's why Doctor Strange isn't there. He was gone for 5 years, and the Sorcerer Supreme is going to have some catching up to do.
No. It literally happens while... Or wait, no. Wait, we jumped time. Sorry, because we saw Monica come back, but I'm like, wait a minute, that was like a flashback.
Yes.
To before the series started, technically.
Yeah, and then she shows up.
Then she shows up and goes in, and then the show starts with her in the... Yes.
So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier...
Mason says, yo! I say yo to Mason.
Yo! What up, Mason? Falcon and the Winter Soldier has to take place... Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb. Never mind. That theory does make sense. I was going to say at least 5 years after WandaVision. In my head, I put WandaVision after Infinity War, before the 5-year time gap.
Oh.
No, yeah, sorry. You are right. You are right. That could work together still. Well, also, too, what is the most future thing we have right now? That would be Spider-Man Far From Home, right? That takes place in 2023?
Yes.
So... Okay, how long is that after? That takes place 3 years after everyone came back from the blip.
Justin, I hope you feel well. If you're not feeling well, it's all good. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you get better. Just wanted to throw that out there. He says he's not feeling very well.
Oh, yeah, hope you feel better, Justin.
Hope you feel better. See you later.
For sure, dude. We'll catch you on the flippity-floppitous. Thank you so much once again for the super chats, dude. They are so appreciated.
Thank you so much.
I see also, too, we are at 15 likes, which, again, likes are never even expected.
Man. For the first episode, this is awesome.
Yeah, first episode hype, 15 likes. So, thank you guys so much. It really helps with the algorithm. It really helps get more eyes on our content, and, it helps this individual show grow. Sorry, I had this hiccup, and I couldn't get rid of it. But it helps our individual show grow, but it also helps the channel as a whole grow. In quick second, I want to say, if you are new here, consider joining the Discord. It's being spammed. Oh, I have to point to this way now. It's being spammed in the chat by Stream Elements. It is also in the description below. But our Discord is a growing, thriving... Jeez, man, I like these hiccup burps that I can't get rid of. Our Discord is a growing, thriving community. Can't English today, guys.
Yes, it is.
It's a throwing, griving
It's a
community.
throwing, driving, jiving, Bamboozled community.
And that gives you the most direct access to both me and Tyler.
His pants are so uncomfortable.
You're wearing jeans again? I warned you about this last time.
I know. I know. No, I can never sit in these chairs with jeans.
The Discord gives you the most direct access to me and Tyler, but also it connects you with the rest of the community. You'll be able to find people to game with there. You'll be able to find people to speculate about movies and TV and whatnot with, and also too just to have fun, chat. So I would highly recommend anyone who is thinking about sticking around here, join the Discord. It's not necessary, but I think it greatly improves your enjoyment of the channel.
Definitely. And laughs, it's cool if you can't super chat, don't worry about it. Seriously, dude, just by commenting in the chat and being here watching is enough. It's totally enough.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like I always say that likes are always encouraged and never required. So if we're not requiring a like, if we're not like, hey, you're here, like, because I see so many people who it's just like, there's 10 of you here, we only have 5 likes on this video. I see that, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden the number drops, and I'm like, yeah, there we go.
I think that's crazy. One thing to know about Zach and I is, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for, we're doing this because, literally, like we've said this before, we talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of made a decision where it's like, why don't we just build a community off of it? Like, why don't we just talk about it online? And it just seemed to be like a thing we wanted to do. You're streaming gameplay, you love to play games, so it's just kind of like a thing that we just kind of do naturally, and we want to grow the community, and we have special projects that we're working on, and we want to, and because you guys are here, you guys are going to be able to see sneak peeks and get a little behind the scenes of what we're working on, and I think it's going to be very rewarding for you guys to be here with us and experience what we got coming up.
And speaking of that, when do you want to... All right, guys, you're going to get some behind the scenes right now. When do you want to upload Reach? That's a short film that Tyler made. 2 weeks from now? We can build a little hype, make it an event, premiere it, and watch it, hopefully with a lot of the people from the Discord.
Yeah, true. Yeah, why don't we, because it's going to be pretty much Snyder Cuts for the week.
All right, cool. Yeah. So that would
Or we could do it on... No, not next week's show. Well, next week's show. We have a lot of planning to do, because next week's show, are we just going to review Justice League on here?
I don't think. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but there's going to be other news, Yeah. And if we weren't doing an individual review of Justice League, then I'd say we can do that for next week's show, but yeah, I say let's just post it on a Saturday, because this is a Friday show. Yesterday we tried to launch it and it did not work. So the 27th, that's 2 weeks from now. Does that sound good to you? Saturday the 27th?
Yeah.
So just like we were saying with our own interests and other stuff and other projects we're working on, Tyler made in his school, but it's still his project. Tyler made a short film. He made a short film for class, and it was written by him. I helped storyboard it, which was cool, with my little doodles.
Yep, you came in the night before we shot.
Yep,
helped set dress and everything.
Yeah, so I technically, because it was a school project, I couldn't get the assistant director credit back then. I'll put new credits on it. I'm the AD now. I'm just kidding, but I was involved with that. But it was Tyler's project. And it was a fun time. It was cool. You'll see some of the VFX that...
Yeah.
And those were just the VFX that you were able to do a few years ago. Now, you guys aren't ready for what we're working on.
Well, also, too, so another thing to note is, the short film was made in the span of, realistically, a month. So we had maybe a month and a half in total. Because we make them in our terms or semesters or whatever. So usually, Zach and I, we like to, if we're developing ideas, we do it over, it's been years now, but we develop ideas a lot longer, and usually I spend a lot more time on my projects. But yeah, this one was made over a month. So, and I'm proud of it. We met some really cool actors. We met some really cool people who we will definitely be working with in the future.
And even stuff like that, when it's okay, a month, even that's not a regular month, because you can't just write at your own pace and do stuff at your own pace. You have to
Right.
Bring in this outline to class and see how your professor feels about the outline and the notes here and that. So like that even was a month with stinted progress versus what you would normally be doing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for the most part, and it's different too because I mean I don't want to harp on this. But
we said we'd talk about ourselves this episode.
And so, but a lot of times, I mean, that's what happens in the studio. Like if you're working for a company, if you're making a film for a Netflix or a Hulu or a Disney Plus, they're gonna play the role of a teacher, like a teacher would, where they're gonna have notes and they're gonna have feedback. And
yes,
they're your boss, so you have to listen to them. With this necessarily,
or get fired.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So with this necessarily, I don't have to listen to them. Like you don't have to if you don't want to. There's more just suggestions, but it's good to get in the habit of like
listening
taking
to feedback.
good notes and listening to feedback. Yeah, it's super important.
But yeah, Reach is how long is Reach? Like, it's not even. Is it what 3 minutes?
I want to say like five-ish minutes.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it's a cool project. It's unique.
It's a short film.
Yeah. It's really unique. It's really cool. You know, like I said, Tyler said he's proud of it. I'm really, I'm proud of the work that we invested into that.
Yeah,
you know,
we basically built the whole look of the film. The whole look of the film was built like within like 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you came over the night before and we set dressed and it was.
Yeah, that was a fun time. And that will be premiering on this channel in 2 weeks. We'll have more details about that. But I wanted to share it with you now because that's what this show is. You know, like it's a movie, it's a pop culture news show, but we're doing stuff that is, pop culture. Like Reach itself might not be pop culture, but pop culture is movies, games, TV. Yeah. And it's a short film. But like you're going to get to know us better too. It's not just going to be us like talking about the news. Like we're going to go off and talk about our own projects a little bit, especially as we talk about them more and have announcement videos for things. People are going to be popping up in the chat. How's this going? Yeah. Earlier I saw Peter in the chat asked about Smash, which I got distracted and didn't answer, but I'll answer that in a sec. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream Smash today or not. We will see. But that's what's cool is like while we're talking about movies and games and whatnot, someone might come in and ask me about, a video game that I'm doing voiceover work on and I talked about and be like, is that out yet? And it's like, oh no, like that's why we love this show so much. I know it's the first episode technically, but like this holds a special place in our heart because this channel, we are our niche. Like, a lot of people find a niche. We want it to be us because that way it's never work, like
yeah,
I'm gaming because I like to game. I'm playing Smash because I like to play Smash.
Right.
We're talking about this stuff because we love to talk about this stuff. Like, our interests are the channel.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why we won't ever burn out. Because it's not like, oh, I don't want to play video games anymore. I'm not into video games, but, like, I need to make video game content. If I ever become less about video games, well, then there's just going to be a little more movie content while I'm in that phase, and vice versa. If a new, game comes out that like catches you so off guard and you're like, the story in this is wild. Right. Like these cutscenes are so cinematic. I love the framing. I love this. And like, you want to like start talking about those. Like that's what's so great. Like nothing, it's not out of place because this channel is us,
right. The one game that I could see me that I will definitely play is the Harry Potter open world game that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Soon, I don't know, next year or whatever. That's one game that like I'm definitely on top. Like put me in that for sure.
Yeah,
let's go. So yeah, you'll see that.
So with that said, keep watching the channel for more details on Reach. Reach will be premiering in 2 weeks, but we'll drop more details. Maybe make a mini trailer. That'd be fun. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We'll see. Yeah, back to Falcon.
Are we still on that? Or do you have more stuff we want to talk about with it? I know, we were kind of speculating on the time frame. Like, is it happening at the same time as WandaVision? Is it happening months later? Like.
Well, do you think it's going to be as successful?
Yeah, that's the other question. And I don't know. Like, so that's what's so hard. So for me, WandaVision was a masterclass in subverting expectations.
Right.
And I'm real big on subverting expectations. I think there's a difference between actually subverting expectations and then tricking your audience and like trolling them.
Right.
You know, I would say like that's my thing whenever people like defend Star Wars Episode 8, like they talk about like subverting expectations, and I'm just like, but nothing that happened was set up. It all just happened randomly. It was just like, now we're here. Just kidding, we're here. Mm-hmm. Where WandaVision, like, you were along for the journey, but then it was like, okay, it looks like this is where we're going. Oh no, we were going this way, but looking back, it makes sense. You know, like, if you rewatch WandaVision, I don't think there's going to be one wasted line of dialogue. And like,
oh, no.
That's what's huge, is like, the story works when you don't know it and you're figuring it out and it's a mystery. And then it works when you go back. You know, people who had a hard time with those first 2 episodes, I could see enjoying those first 2 episodes a little more. And with me, you heard me talking about how I love when superheroes are super. Well, Wanda, as of what we've seen right now, is the most powerful character in the MCU, or that we've seen. Like, Captain Marvel, they told us over and over she was really powerful. I didn't see much of that. The most I saw of that was her breaking a control thing on her.
Right.
And then it was just like, okay, now I'm just... She looked tough like Captain America, you know. We saw her fly through some people in Endgame. And then Thanos yeeted her with the Power Stone. So, like, she could be more powerful than Wanda. If she is, I will enjoy the next Captain Marvel more than this one, I think. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, like, that's a huge thing for me, is superheroes being super, not just heroes. And with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, just by design, it won't have that. You know? Like, by design, like, we know Falcon's, like, his max power level.
Yep.
And we know Winter Soldier's, like, max power level. And that's fine. Like, that's not a knock against it, but that's... For me personally, that's an advantage to WandaVision that this one just doesn't have going in it. So, like, WandaVision could have slipped on the story a little bit, and, like, the super shenanigans were going to make up for that for me. Mm-hmm. Where Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, I really need this show to completely be on top of it for, like, me to have the same levels of hype as WandaVision. I still don't really know what it's about, which is kind of cool. Like, I have a loose general idea, you know? But the trailers didn't give that much away. So,
for sure.
I'm excited.
See you later, Laughs. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for hopping in, Laughs.
Have a good day.
Thanks for helping getting us to 15 likes and
the rest
chatting.
the rest of your weekend. Hopefully it's a wonderful time. You know, give yourself some relaxation time and, you know, enjoy, do stuff you love to do and enjoy your weekend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Weekends are made for chilling and grinding
and talking
and speculating. But yeah, what do you think? Is Zemo going to be... Zemo was a hidden villain, you know? He was a Palpatine in Civil War.
Oh, I like that reference.
Now that
I like that connection.
Thank you.
Whatever you call it.
A Palpatine.
No, but what would you call that?
Oh, I said a hidden villain.
I know, but it's not a reference, but what is
comparison?
Thank you.
Analogy?
Comparison. I was trying to think of the word. I was like, what is that as a comparison? Yeah.
But,
I like that comparison.
But yeah, you know, like, is Zemo going to be... Because I feel like Civil War's up there for everybody for the most part, as far as, like, their Marvel movie ratings, you know? Mm-hmm. Is he going to be the primary antagonist? You know what I mean? Is the government? Is the U.S. agent? How is Zemo going to work as, you know, he's got his mask. He is a villain now, you know, which I'm all aboard that stuff. Like, the more comic-y you can get, like, I accept it. You know, like, I don't, this is the show I'm the most nervous about, because this is the one that I want to be good the most. If WandaVision would have let me down, I would have been like, that's a bummer.
Right.
Well, if this one lets me down, I'll be like, man, I really wanted this to, like...
This was supposed to come out before WandaVision.
First. Yep.
So it'll be interesting. Once these are all out, it'll be interesting to look at the original release schedule for this and be like, oh, wow. and how it would have all tied into each other. So, which WandaVision was the last thing that was supposed to be released. So I'm wondering...
Last?
Yes.
Was Loki supposed to come out before WandaVision?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. From what I remember, WandaVision was supposed to be December 2020, and everything else was supposed to come after or before this.
Oh, I
Before
think you're
WandaVision.
right.
Yeah. So I'm curious of like if they wrote these series to like build on one another. And like WandaVision was supposed to be like the big, crazy and spectacle, wild show that it is.
That's true.
So
Because think about this. Since we watched WandaVision first, when it was the last commercial, it was for like the depression medicine, and it was called Nexus.
Mhm.
And that was the first we heard of the Nexus in the MCU.
Right.
And it's like, oh, what's the Nexus going to be? Is the Nexus the basement that Agatha's in? Is the Nexus going to be this, or is it going to be that? You know, also, too, I see we are at 17 likes. Thank you guys so much for keeping them coming. Can we get to 20 on our first episode?
can we get to 20?
That
on
would
our
be
first
mind-blowing.
episode? We've been going for like an hour and a half now. So that's
It's
pretty
wild.
good.
You guys rock. I think Nick and Chuck plugged it to their audience. I think I have a notification from Nick
Oh,
tagging
super
me
cool.
on
Thank you,
Twitter. He
guys.
said if you
Thank
like
you.
the Gaming Twin Show, then you might like the Pop Culture Cave, so you should check it out.
Sweet.
But with the Nexus, so yeah, big shout out to Nick and Chuck. Nick and Chuck are our friends. They run the Gaming Twin Show on Twitch. We're going to be collaborating them a little more. We have some plans in the works. They're talking this morning about maybe setting up a Dungeons and Dragons event on one of their streams.
Oh, cool.
Because that's like long form, but then also too like we'll be chatting we'll all be hanging out for a while.
Yeah.
So since we're going to collaborate on more stuff, it makes sense for that to be an introduction where it's like people are getting to see us hang out.
Interesting.
But
That'd be fun.
yeah, it was just like a random idea that came up during the stream. But yeah, so check out the Gaming Twin Show on Twitch if you are not yet following that. But back to the point that I was making is that place where Loki goes in the trailer, that's the Nexus, right? They straight up say that in the trailer.
Do they?
I forget if they do. I only watched the
It might
trailer
be.
when it first came out. But for all intents and purposes, I'm pretty sure that's how, if they didn't say it, I think it's implied to be the Nexus. That is how the Nexus looks in the comics. And with that being said, the Nexus is basically the place in Marvel where all the universes converge, or a place where all the universes converge.
Interesting.
We hear that in WandaVision and we go, oh, Nexus, where's the Nexus going to be? Well, if Loki was supposed to come out first and his show is taking place in the Nexus, then what that actually is a Loki reference. It's not just a little... So yeah, when all this is out, watching it in the other order.
Peter says that in Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 4, which was a Marvel release, it came into the Fortnite universe, it was called the Nexus War.
Yeah, so like even that, you know, and that's a good point. And I could see, especially if Sam Raimi stuff is going to start to be considered like canon, you know, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and the Sony stuff with Venom.
Right.
You know, essentially, this is going to get really meta, but like, depending on the approach to the multiverse that Marvel takes, you know, we've only seen it in Endgame so far. Mm-hmm. Like, and we've seen it referenced in Doctor Strange, but we've only actually seen the multiverse in Endgame. And depending on the approach that they take there, like, everything, like, we could, getting meta, we could be part of the multiverse, because, like, I know that's what a lot of comics do, is, like, they reference the reader's universe, you know, like, to bring you more into the story. And some versions of the multiverse, it's everything that's ever happened and ever could happen exists in some universe everywhere, where literally one universe would be the exact same. The only difference is Captain America had cornflakes for breakfast on this day instead of Raisin Bran. Like, they are identical other than the smallest insignificant differences.
Nice.
So if that is the approach that the MCU takes, where other approaches are multiverses only exist when someone messes with their universe, where it branches off, kind of like a string theory.
Right.
And the question there is, depending on the version that Marvel takes, like, if it is the version where every possible thing that could possibly happen ever did happen in a universe somewhere, then it becomes really easy to say, oh yeah, no, like this Fortnite event is canon. It's just in that universe.
Definitely.
And you know, like, how insane would that be in Loki when he's in the Nexus? Like, you see like the cartoon X-Men like on one screen looking at one universe, and like, you know, you see like Fortnite stuff happening like on another screen, and you see Spider-Man fighting Doc Ock on another one. Mm-hmm. Like, this stuff sounds ridiculous to say.
I think it could. If it was a movie, like a traditional film, I would be like, no, probably not. But because it's a Disney Plus show, like, it's possible that, yeah, we could see all that happen in the Loki show for sure.
And another thing to point out too, there are rumors ramping up more and more that Marvel is getting ready to introduce Big Hero 6 characters into the mainland MCU.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
And because remember, Stan Lee cameoed in that, and that was a Marvel Studios movie.
Right.
Like, people think it was just a Disney movie, but it's like, no, Big Hero 6 it had the Marvel bumper in the beginning. Like, this is a Marvel movie. And it ends with, you know, dimensional, it ends almost the same way as Avengers ends, when Tony flies up into that thing, and it's just all this dark, drifting space, and then he falls back out. That's where Baymax is floating off to.
That's so interesting that you bring...
You know, who's to say Baymax...
Now my mind is like, is that very similar.
Yeah.
Huh.
And who's to say that version of Baymax doesn't end up in the MCU or any of these other characters via some sort of travel? You know,
sure.
It is worth noting...
That'd be wild.
The Big Hero 6 show is extremely successful as far as cartoons go for Disney. But even though it's very successful, the current season that they're on or about to start is the final season.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you ending a successful show? Maybe because it's divergent from the MCU and they're about to start bringing in canon Big Hero 6 stuff. It's just speculation, but like, that's what we're getting into, you know? Like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, it's just military stuff as far as we know, like, similar, you know, probably S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, but...
Some Hydra, maybe.
If S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra are involved, well, S.W.O.R.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. are sister companies, you know,
Right.
So we know S.W.O.R.D. exists, so it's like, okay, it's very easy for this now to be related to WandaVision. And WandaVision, you know, has all sorts of craziness and references the Nexus, and Loki, a lot of it takes place in a Nexus, supposedly, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so weird. Like, there's not a specific thing I expect for this show, but I have high expectations, and like, that's what scares me. WandaVision, I didn't have expectations, and I loved it. This one, I'm like, if this one stinks, because basically, if this show flops, because this is the weight that this one has, if this show flops, then they made a mistake retiring Captain America, and his story is kind of, it ended for no reason. Like, it ended so they could pass the torch to these guys and continue. You know, Captain America is always going to be one of Marvel's most successful things.
Yeah. And also, to taking yourself out of the MCU for a minute, it is a business at the end of the day. And these actors have contracts. And Chris Evans played Captain America for like a decade.
Yeah.
And people want to do other things with their careers. So it's not only like, oh, it was to pass the torch to these guys, but like, also real world happens.
Yeah.
And actors are just kind of like, I want to step away and do other things, and I don't want to play this character right now. I think Captain America will come back. I think, you know, Tony Stark will come back at some point, but right now they don't want to do it right now.
Well, Chris Evans did say, he said, anytime Marvel wants me for anything, I'm on board. I love it. So it's not like they ended on a sour note either. It's very easy for him to come back. He's straight up. When that rumor, which it could be true, you know, actors will always deny the rumors. So when an actor denies the rumor, don't go, oh, well, that's debunked now.
Right.
But when a rumor comes up and then the actor denies it, that doesn't mean anything. However, it is worth noting when Chris Evans denied the rumor, he still was like, no, but that would be great. I would come back, like, anytime they want me, that's how I remember the tweets, like, anytime they want me, they can have me.
Of course.
So, like, he's clearly excited about the property, and logistically, is, you know, Marvel, as long as Marvel stays profitable, it's only a matter of time. Like,
oh yeah,
especially with multiverse stuff happening and time travel, like, it's only a matter of time.
Right. Because I don't think, you know, do I think Captain America is going to come back and be like a main player in the MCU? No. But Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, they can come back as cameos for sure.
That's interesting. See,
they come back as cameos, maybe sometimes more than cameos. Who knows?
I could see, and I'm not saying this is something I expect to happen, but what I could see happening is having these guys step away so we can get new leads. We know T'Challa, was going to be one, but also too, Tom Holland, Spider-Man. You know, we know
expect him to be Peter Parker for like the next 10 years for sure. At least.
And like in Far From Home, like sometimes lines are to characters, but they're also to the audience. In Far From Home, when Tony gives Peter the glasses, it says, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." That line was for us. That was because Tony wasn't the president of the Avengers. He wasn't the leader. You know, like they were all equal on the show. Like you are in the MCU. So like, well, I always say the head that wears the. I know it's a quote, but like, that's not just like. It doesn't make the most sense like for that to be Tony's like departing thing to Peter when you think about it. It's like, but you're not the head that wears the crown. I would say something about great power comes great responsibility. There's a great chance for you to use that there, and that was a line for us because as the audience, we know the main character of Marvel for the first 3 phases was Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. And that is Marvel telling us Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is going to be the new leader of the MCU. That's what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So, you know, just even killing off these characters, having them retire, having them disappear, even just for a little bit, while we get used to the fact of these new people running the show, is a big thing. I could see someone coming back in a secondary role. Like, I could see Chris Evans' Cap being just a regular part of the Avengers again. But after a few more movies from other people, so we're used to Peter and Wanda or Peter and Strange running the show.
Jellyfish?
As usual,
no
hi
name.
bye.
Hi bye. Hi bye to you.
Thank you, No Name. I appreciate it. We are at 18 likes now, 2 away from 20.
So Peter brought up an interesting thing. He said that he believes that the heroes that died in Endgame are going to come back. He said, I mean, why would they release a Black Widow movie after she died in Endgame? That's an interesting.
Yes.
That is an interesting question to ask. One thing. So I guess like you have to look at the timelines. Obviously, Black Widow was supposed to come out chronologically after Endgame.
Yeah, that was their original release schedule. You can find the pictures of that.
Supposed to come out in 2020. Okay, we had that weird, the weird year where stuff got thrown, but it was originally supposed to come out after Endgame. If we're looking at it, movies aren't just made like on a whim. Like, they've planned these movies out a ton.
Yeah.
So they knew what was going to happen to Black Widow, and then they knew that they were going to... I mean, there's pre-production, there's script writing for months and months and months before they even shoot the thing, so they knew that it was going to go Endgame, she was going to die, and then they were going to release her movie. Now, there's, I don't know, there's multiple reasons why I guess her movie would be released. I know a lot of people wanted her to have her own movie.
Yeah,
so I think
they see the dollar signs.
Right, it could have just been like we're doing this to please the fans. Also, too, it's going to introduce a new Black Widow into the MCU because her sister is going to take up the mantle. Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect. So I don't really know. I don't have. It should have come out. Obviously, I think her movie should have come out. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We're gonna see the movie, and maybe we'll go. Oh, that's why.
When was Falcon and the Winter Soldier supposed to come out? Sorry, Peter's got me speculating now. He's got my speculation.
I'll look it up.
Ticking. So, in the comics,
I cannot spell.
In the comics, Black Widow dated the Winter Soldier, like when he was evil and also when he was good. So when he was still being mind controlled by Hydra, that became like a retcon as part of her story. Is she was dating him as part of, you know, the spy stuff and whatnot. With that said, it seemed like that's not how it went in the MCU. However, there has been one line that has really stuck out to me. And if you can't find it, it's all good too.
August 2020.
August, so after Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow.
So,
Black Widow. Wow, Black Widow was supposed to be what, May?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we know Black Widow. All right, the theory gears are going. We know Black Widow takes place in the 80s as well, via flashbacks and whatnot. Or most of the movie could take place in in the past, with only small portions being in the present/future. In the comics, she dated the Winter Soldier. She never met Bucky until he came back in Winter Soldier, the movie.
Right.
But she got shot by him, but he didn't kill her. She said he was trying to get to someone else, and she shows Cap the scar. And then when they start fighting, he grabs her with his mechanical arm. This is the first time that he's like fighting everybody and escaping. She's like, "You don't remember me?" And I thought it was such a weird line to me. Like, because if you just shot, like, it seemed more personal than a just, "you shot me." Mm-hmm. She was just like, "You really don't remember me?" as he's trying to choke her. And it's just like,
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, dude.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
It's just like it just seemed like a throwaway line, but to me, I was just like, if this dude was trying to just kill some random person and shot through you to get them, him trying to kill you isn't like, "Why are you trying to kill me? You don't remember me?" Like, so who's to say Sebastian Stan doesn't cameo? Which, again, this is just a theory, and if it doesn't come true, I'm not going to be, like, broken up about it. You know? Like, it's okay to make theories, but you have to have realistic expectations of, like, I don't expect, you know, whatever happens.
You gotta check everything at the door before you go into to the whatever and watch the show.
But who's to say that we don't see flashbacks of that time when she was with the Winter Soldier?
That's very interesting.
That they did date briefly in the comics, or have some sort of relation, or in the MCU, and have some sort of relationship, and that's why she says that line in Endgame, or in Winter Soldier. But then too, the Black Widow movie could then reveal relevant information for the Winter Soldier series.
If you're new here, please drop a like. They're greatly appreciated. They help the stream kind of get kicked out there in the YouTube algorithm. Helps out. So if you're here, you could drop a like. That'd be awesome. We're almost to 20 likes. If you can get us to 20 likes,
that would be awesome. Yeah,
sweet.
We got a 20 like hype. Hashtag 20 like hype.
Hashtag 20 like hype. But that's a cool theory, man. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I didn't either until Peter commented. And, like, that's an example of why we push the Discord. Because we don't just want to have these conversations in here.
Right.
You know, like, we want to talk about this stuff with you guys in the Discord, too, and get more people involved in the conversation.
Join that Discord, by the way.
Yeah, it's being spammed in the chat by Stream Elements. Actually, I think it just now posted it, so that was perfect timing. But, yeah, because that's what that does, you know, like, you can speculate and come up with things by yourself, but then when you have other people involved and you have conversation, you can take bits and pieces of what other people say and come up with all sorts of cool ideas and just have a fun time, you know, like, I don't get grumpy when I'm theorizing, you know, I get excited. And, like, I wouldn't have had that moment. We wouldn't have had this moment on the show just now if you weren't interacting in the chat, Peter. So, like, thank you for sharing your opinion. And, like, yeah, it really got the gears turning. But
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to hear what people think about this show when it comes out.
Yeah.
And week by week, and to see how it happens. Same thing with Snyder Cut. I cannot wait until, you know, we're all in when it drops, and we're all like, whoa, and like I think it's gonna be a really fun time to be making content and talking to everyone about specifically Zack Snyder's vision. I think it's gonna be a really fun time.
I think that'll be real cool. How cool would it be if when Black Widow ends, there's an end credit scene, and it shows her. It's like right after it's back to Endgame, and it's right after she hits the ground. It's that same clip from Endgame, but it stays on her longer instead of cutting away. and then all of a sudden her skin just goes and changes to a Skrull.
And she's a Skrull.
Yeah. That would be a cool scene. Again, keep the expectations in check, you know, leave them at the door. But yeah, you got me thinking now, Peter.
But if it happens, we called it.
Yeah, if it happens, we get to.
I haven't heard it anywhere else, but yeah, no, she's a Skrull.
This is on tape, you know? We know Fury was a Skrull.
This is on tape. This is on internet.
This is on the internet.
This is on ones
It's
and zeros.
time stamped. But yeah, Fury was a Skrull in like all of the Avengers movies almost. Like we have like you can figure out for sure from Age of Ultron forward, because in Age of Ultron he cuts his toast diagonal, and then in
that's right.
And then in Captain Marvel he says I can't eat toast if it's cut diagonal. That's how you know I'm not a Skrull. But so from at least
so cool.
Age of Ultron forward, Fury was a Skrull. So who's to say that his number 2, his main spy, also wasn't a Skrull?
Yeah.
Because
they were both introduced together.
And when he's in the car at the end of Spider-Man, he's with his new number 2, what's her name? I can't think of it.
Kobe Smulders.
Yes, he's with Smulders. And once again, they both...
glad that you're back. Glad that you're back. Sorry that your phone died.
Oh, it's all good. Peter, we were just you're going to have to go back after this video's over, because we were talking a lot about your speculation about them coming back to life and whatnot.
Yeah, we basically...
came up with theories that wouldn't have happened without you.
Exactly.
So, thank you. But yeah, because he's with Smulders, and they're both Skrull. So who's to say? Oh, the gears are turning.
A Skrull. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she would be... And that gives a little bit more... It's so interesting when... And this is what the MCU does so greatly. Is you'll watch it once, you'll watch it twice, but then stuff will happen later on down the timeline, and it recontextualizes.
What if she's the flight
scenes.
risk in WandaVision, in the Witness Protection? Boom! Oh, we got to make that video. Because even if it's not real, that'll be a fun one.
That'd be wild. So yeah, no. I think, yeah, she could be a Skrull.
Someone else liked that because we're at 19 likes now.
Wow. Interesting, man.
It's all coming together.
Interesting. You know, and normally how this goes, you know, none of this is going to actually happen.
Yep. That's how it always goes.
I kicked the camera for some reason.
Oh, no.
My bad.
Okay. I just need to... No, your head's cut off. There we go.
Sorry.
But yeah, most of the stuff never happened, but it's a fun time. Let's see. Yeah, man. It's like, you know, and that's what gets me so hyped about these Marvel shows. Because nothing, you know, you can talk about the formula, you can talk about this, you can talk about the things you don't like. Nothing like this exists. The closest thing right now is the DCU. And that is not very connected, especially at this point where they're doing all this other, you know, Joker's in its own universe. Mm-hmm. Batman's in its own universe. This is in its own universe. Like... There's literally nothing like this that exists, you know. And the fact that for WandaVision was building off of like 8 other movies, and then for Vision, it's like that was his like 10th or whatever thing in the MCU. It was Paul Bettany's. Hey, 20 like hype. We hit 20 likes.
20 likes.
Thank you guys so much, man. First episode love.
Peter said that he asked about Smash because his copy of the game got replaced.
Oh, nice, dude. I'm happy you were able... Did Nintendo send that back, or did it just... did you just get a new one? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do Smash today or not. There's a lot of stuff that I need to get done that I haven't gotten done yet over these last couple weeks. Some stuff that me and Tyler got a game plan for the week and whatnot. But I will definitely be keeping you guys posted on if Smash is going to happen. I'm going to try to. I'll say that much. If I have time, you know, it won't be like a 3-hour stream, but I'm going to try my best to.
For sure.
But yeah, Pop Culture Cave is a blast.
But
this
yeah,
is one
we've
of my
been going
favorite
for
segments.
like 2 hours now, so.
And
do we have any more topics or no?
I don't think so. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let's see. If it's just invisibility behind us, then no. Oh, nope. I can already see it is not. What is this? I'm trying to like use this little $10 thing, and it's so... Oh, nope. No more topics. It's just the room. So in that case, we can do this. Hey, back.
We're back. But
yeah. I do like though, I just noticed this wasn't on purpose, but look at our framing, right? When we switch over here, we each have a movie poster behind us.
Yeah.
I like that. That worked out really nicely. But yeah. Sorry, I just noticed that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I have Spider-Man behind me. He's got Infinity War. Or wait, that's Endgame, right?
Yeah, it's Endgame.
Noise. But no, I know we were talking about, our schedule's going to become much more consistent the first week of April. So I'm excited about that. We're figuring out what new shows to bring. I know this is a new show already, but there's one that we're for sure going to do. Working title, but basically will be a Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe. And we're figuring out what that looks like, but it's basically discussing what the characters in Smash, if they had a movie, what that movie would look like, and then also, too, how it would tie in to the other characters in their Avengers-type movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a great time. Like I said, we're figuring out how often to do that, what it's going to look like. Do we do, little animated segments? I don't know, because, you don't want to give yourself too much work when you're trying to, but you also, too, want stuff to be a certain quality, and you want a certain feel. So we're figuring that out currently. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be able to share.
I also
Reach.
I haven't talked to you about the new idea that I had.
Ooh,
maybe we've talked about
I haven't heard this.
Maybe we've talked about this before, but we did a sound design project a few months ago.
Yes, we did.
And that was to a game. And I'm wondering if we just continue to keep doing that.
Ooh,
to other games.
That's a good idea. I like that. We'll discuss that more after the stream. That one might be too boring of a discussion for the stream. There'll be too much logistics and whatnot. But
I think you guys would really enjoy that stuff, because you guys could then also, they could suggest trailers.
Yeah, and that one's pretty cool. I'll straight up drop the hammer on that. So you had to do sound design for a class, right?
Yeah.
And it was just any trailer from anything?
Yeah, I had free reign. I could pick anything, yeah.
And so for those of you guys who don't create stuff or work with this type of stuff, so sound design is literally everything regarding sound. So it's not just the characters talking, it's not just the character audio or the person's audio. It is, the sound of background noise. It's the sound of footsteps. It's the music. It's the score. It's,
the hits.
The hits. Just every little thing. Most of the stuff that you hear, in WandaVision, for example, when she is having the children in that third episode and everything's going crazy and the thing's spinning, you hear a as the clock hands are spinning really quick. I know. That's the best I can do for that noise without being a clock.
Great sound.
And without being a picture spinning on the wall.
Yeah.
But there was nothing on set making those noises. And same when a character puts a glass down or whatever, usually that's not the real sound of the glass hitting the counter.
No.
Usually that is inserted later. So that is how sound design works. So you had to take a trailer and completely strip it, correct?
Yeah, so what we do, take a trailer, completely strip it of the sound, and build it from the ground up. So all the sounds are, and all the sound design and all the mixing and all that's done by me or by us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Tyler decided on the Spider-Man video game for the PS4's trailer.
Yes, so we did that trailer.
And it's really cool. I'm not going to talk too much about it now. I'm going to tell you what it is because we've discussed that. We are going to upload that to the channel.
Yes.
And we're going to upload, a little tiny making of thing. It won't be that long, but just explaining the project more and how it worked and the stuff we did and I won't say it here, but the web shooter sounds were pretty fun to do.
Exactly. And we worked on it for 2 months?
Something like that.
I feel like I was working on it for 2 or 3 months. It was a while.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 months.
But that's a really fun thing. I think that's a great idea. Those
projects would be longer. That stuff wouldn't happen every week.
Yep.
There might be one every few months because that stuff takes a long time to do.
Yeah.
On top of all the other stuff that we have to do.
When it's stuff like that, that's one thing I always say about. You guys can look forward to that stuff on Saturdays and Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
when it's not a regularly scheduled thing, expect it on the weekend. You know, like when we're sharing a project, expect it on a Saturday or a Sunday. But yeah, so like this was the first episode of the Pop Culture Cave.
Yeah.
I think it was a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you so much for getting us to 20 likes, you know.
Yeah, awesome.
We're not gonna, in the future episodes, which again, we'll discuss other stuff. We're not just gonna be like, this is not a movie, or a game, or a TV show, so shut your dirty mouth. Like, that's not gonna happen. But the episodes aren't going to be as long as this one, for the most part. Some might be. But, like, normally, when we did this before, we were running between an hour and 15 to an hour and a half, usually.
Yeah.
And that's about where we're gonna sit, I think. Like, just from doing it before. But since this was the first episode, you know, we want to give you guys a little some extra juicy. Since we've teased, you know, not a full rebrand, but just like a brand update, I guess, to the channel. Like, since we've teased that and talked about, like, more stuff coming come April. Figured this was a good place to talk about some of that stuff with you guys. So you guys weren't just in the dark on everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got anything else?
No, I'm really excited about the show. This is almost like, because, you know, we have our individual shows, and you can definitely connect with us there. You can stream gameplay with Zack on Thursdays and, you know, play Smash Brothers. Or if you want to know more about movies or pop into my show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. You can come and hang out with me and talk movies. But then there's also this show where we kind of nerd out together, and I think it's a fun time, especially bouncing off of each other. And this is kind of, I'm really excited to build a community.
Yeah, I definitely
talk
agree.
about projects, and people can come and watch our projects and respond, and we'll get suggestions, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and one other thing that I realized I forgot to say. Thank you guys again so much. I don't think you're in here anymore, Justin, but thank you so much for the super chats today. This has been,
incredible.
You know, we never, like I said, I said this in my last Smash stream, but I never go into a stream expecting even one person to like it or to watch it. I set my expectations at there will be 0 people in here, so that way, you know, because we're averaging somewhere between 12 and 20 normally, and it's like, okay, well, if there's 10, I don't want to be bummed because I'm expecting 12 to 20, you know? So I always say I'm expecting 0 people to show up, 0 people to like it, 0 people to comment.
Right.
And by going in like that, helps us to appreciate every single one of you. You know, if there's just one person, oh, sweet, I didn't think anyone was going to show up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If they're not commenting at all, well, I know they're here. It says 1. So I'm going to do my best for this person who decided to show up and blow these expectations out of the water.
Right.
So with that said, we've gotten super chats 3 days in a row, 3 streams in a row, which is wild to me.
That's cool.
So big thank you to you, Justin, for those super chats today. Once again, dude, like, it means the world, you know, and to every single one of you who liked, same goes for you. You know, we hit 20 likes on the first episode.
And it helps, you know, again, any support that you can give helps, but also this takes time to produce these shows. Correct. It takes time to do graphics. It takes time when we start doing our specialty content and we start making stuff specifically for the channel and our projects. You guys are directly contributing to making those things even better, and us being able to contribute our time and full-time energy to these things. It'll all go back, and you will all, everything that you guys give to us, you will see us put that back into creating this content. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you guys are absolute rock stars. And for anyone who's in here, if you have not yet joined the Discord, it is being strammed. It's being spammed in the chat by Stream Elements. Once again, perfect timing. It's the last thing that Stream Elements posted, but it is in the chat with Stream Elements. I highly recommend everybody join it if you want to have more conversation with us and just also to more connection with the community. We do cool stuff there. We set our bots to automatically share your content. Like, you know, there's a lot of stream teams where just the people at the top benefit. It's, you know, which you're newer to the like streaming world, so you might not know as, but it's like basically support for support is what they say. You watch our stuff, we'll watch your stuff, but all that really happens is the person at the top and then the admins grow exponentially, and everyone else is just sharing their links in a crowded pool and nobody watches it.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't like those. I know a lot of people who tried to join them and it didn't work.
Right.
Once again,
Like,
and
I know Media Nut shared his video.
Yeah.
And I watched it like as he shared it. So like, yeah.
Yeah, and
I definitely want to try to support people for sure. That's huge.
It's so cool too, No Name, he jumped in here to say hi bye and drop a like, but like he posts he fights his Bayonetta in Smash Ultimate, and his Bayo is one of the illest Bayos I've ever seen. And he dropped a video and I watched it, and then I went to comment on it, and I saw other people from the Discord had already commented on it.
Awesome.
And I'm just like, that's so cool that the Discord is an environment that enables you guys to connect with us more, but also to connect with each other.
Yep.
And to grow your communities and have all of these communities be connected communities, But so we do a lot of stuff where our bots will auto share if you're live, if you stream on Twitch, or when you post a video, it doesn't even matter if you're live. If you stream on Twitch, you automatically like get a role on the top. If anyone here is watching from the Gaming Twin Show, since that's I know Nick shouted that out earlier. The only reason I caught that this morning, I forgot they were live. Then I went on the Discord and I see on the side live on Twitch, and then I see Chuck, and it's like streaming Gaming Twin Show underneath. I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna miss that.
Nice.
So then I went to it, and I like a great, like. That's why we plug the Discord. Like, it gives you guys more access to us. It helps us know what you guys want and interact with you guys more. But also, too, like, you guys give so much to us. Mm-hmm. Like, whether that's super chats or comments or just the community. We wouldn't be growing at the rate we're growing without you guys. And we want to give back. And the Discord is an environment that we think definitely gives back, and we're only going to be adding more cool stuff to it. But don't normally plug the Discord that long. It is a new show. It might be a new audience. So I just want to say, consider joining the Discord. Link is over there and below. But yeah, guys, this has been episode 1 of the Pop Culture Cave.
Exciting.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I will see you Monday with whatever I'm streaming in the morning. I don't know if it'll be Smash or Ring Fit. It'll be Ring Fit in April. But right now, it could go either way. Sure. I'll see you guys Monday. Stay awesome.
Stay awesome. Bye, guys.
Oh, no, it's frozen. I didn't do... Oh.